what I would consider a healthy couple. Are we a healthy couple? We're a healthy couple.
Know.
I think we're a healthy couple. I think it's 10 years.
Maybe there's a Reddit thread talking about how long we have left.
Yeah.
Dear Shandy. Welcome back to Dear Shandy, listeners. This is a bonus episode of Dear Shandy. Yeah. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today?
Feeling mournful.
Mournful. You are wearing black today.
Yes.
This doesn't happen very often.
Gotta honor the occasion.
Yes.
Not celebratory.
No, because today we are going to talk about the Golden Bachelor breakup or divorce or annulment.
Yeah, it's a nully.
A nully?
It's in the annulment. I think it's more of an annulment. But annulment doesn't sound as dramatic for the paper.
It's true. Wait, so how many months does it have to be within for an annulment to work?
I think an annulment is a year.
Oh, really?
I think.
Do you actually know? Maybe we should have researched this before starting.
If someone gave me 2-to-1 odds, I would bet a substantial amount of money on this. Okay. I think a year is the amount.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, you betting will come up later in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so obviously today we're talking about the fact that Gary Turner and Teresa Nist are no longer together. Yeah. We are recording this as soon as we are hearing.
Just a side note, we usually don't cover news stories.
No. I actually, a lot of times whenever there's a couple that breaks up, people want us to comment on it, but we actually consciously choose not to, just because we're talking people's real lives. I just feel like recapping the show is different from like recapping what happens after the cameras aren't rolling anymore, speculating about what's going on in people's lives. Right. The reason that I feel we should talk about this one is because we had our Love Fest come out 3 weeks ago with Gary and Teresa. So a super recent Love Fest celebrating their relationship. Obviously, we very actively recapped the entire season. So we agreed it was sort of appropriate for us to comment on this one.
Also, it was a very short marriage. It was a very short relationship. It's not like these guys were together for 3 or 4 years and then they had a horrible breakup.
Yeah.
It's quick.
Yeah.
So it's not too mournful, despite my shirt.
Okay. And our minor key jingle.
Yes.
Okay. So the first question, obviously, is how shocked are you that they are divorcing?
I don't want to be a jerk here,
but I'm setting the tone.
I'm going to say I'm not shocked.
Okay.
And I'm not in any way disparaging either of them or both of them together. Mm-hmm. I think, as we will discuss, there were a lot of reasons why this probably wasn't going to work. And I think that to disparage them and say, oh, see, we told you Gary's a jerk. And I did even call Gary the Grim Reaper. But I do not think this is a Grim Reaper event. I think this is a mutual event between adults, very mature adults.
Yes.
And it was a potentially logistical decision.
Okay, so not a reaping.
Not a reaping.
Okay.
I don't believe there was a reaping here.
Yeah, I feel shook but not shocked myself. Yeah. Like, I'm sad by this. Like, I feel very sad because, there was the whole season made you believe in something, and then to have it not be what you thought it was is sort of like, it's just a disappointment. But I don't even like using the word disappointment because they weren't a disappointment. It's just the situation is, like we wanted to believe in something. But am I really shocked? No. I think there was a lot working against them.
Look, let's call a spade here.
Yeah.
This show forces you to get married.
Well, in this case, actually married. Televised. We will get to that.
They got married before they even were able to live in the real world together.
Yeah.
That's not normal. Yeah. And I would say if you told me just out of the gate, like I never even knew there were just dating shows on TV. Yeah. Like I came from another planet. A terrible planet where there are no dating shows. Such a horrible planet. But you said to me, there are two people, they're in their 70s. They met on a TV show. And they were basically contractually forced to get married right after that TV show. Oh, and they're not
from the same city.
They're not from the same city. They're from two culturally very different places of the country.
True.
What are their chances of making it past a year? I would say 0.
0?
I would say 0. I'd say 1%.
No,
I'd say 1% just because you never know.
You would say like 15, 20.
No, I wouldn't. I would not say that. Okay. It would be under 10%.
Okay.
Really, I'm not saying this for impact. This is truly what I would say.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense to me. First of all, they never dated. Mm-hmm. They were on a show. That doesn't count. That's an experience. It's like meeting someone, like let's say you both go, like you pay $250,000 to go on Branson's thing that goes, the vomit
space
rocket that goes into the.
Is it called the vomit rocket?
I don't know. I think it goes up and you have zero gravity.
Okay.
And you float like you're in space, and then you see the curvature of Earth, and you see the blackness of space, and it's 250 grand.
Oh, wow.
He used to do that?
Yeah, no, he might still. That's what you do when you become a billionaire.
That's what you do. You got nothing to do. You're like, I want to go up into space.
When
today.
you become a billionaire, you start going to space.
Yeah.
You
What
get
do you
bored
want to
with
go to that
Earth.
new restaurant? Or you want to go to space? Oh, let's go to space.
Yeah.
We already ate there. Let's say you meet someone on that vomit rocket, and you go through this experience, and it's insane. And you see space, and you're floating, and you kind of have a romantic connection. You get back down to Earth, and you have the after party where you meet Branson. I'm sure he's hanging out, having some champagne with you. That's not a realistic romantic engagement. That's fantasy world. Well, you have to get out of that situation, hang out in the normal planet, and just experience each other.
Yes.
This is like that. This show is not dissimilar from meeting on a rocket that goes to space.
Yeah. Especially the first Golden Bachelor. I mean, we didn't know what this was, what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Truly. And it was teased for years. Okay, so neither of us are shocked.
I'm not shocked.
Okay. A little saddened.
I'm sad, but not shocked.
Oh, it's raining. It just started to rain.
Oh, thunder may be coming too.
Oh, how symbolic.
Yeah.
Okay. So
The sky is crying.
It is. Okay. So the next question was, when did you record your Love Fest with them? Some people wanted a timeline. So this Love Fest actually was thrown together really last minute. We often have a lot more notice than this, but our team reached out to them. We confirmed on Thursday and we recorded with them on the Friday, March 15th at 5 p.m. Eastern. So really this was confirmed just the day before. And then we sent out that episode on March 21st. So 6 days later, it was a really fast turnaround. Like we changed the schedule around for this Love Fest, obviously. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
So it was a really big get for us and we were really excited. But in case anyone was wondering how far in advance that was recorded, it was not recorded far in advance.
No. It was a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah. Was your podcast the source of the tea that they were living apart?
Yes.
Yes.
And we didn't get credit. Us Weekly and TMZ.
Another question was, have you ever seen yourselves properly credited when news broke that they were living apart?
No.
Well,
we have. No, subsequently.
Vanity Fair has since,
Vanity Fair, Bustle.
Yeah.
And someone else, I forget.
Yeah.
But
we were a little upset about it at the time, actually.
News broke and they were like, oh, breaking news. And we're like, what? That's 10 days old.
How Us Weekly of Us Weekly to do that.
That's so Us Weekly. Classic Us Weekly.
Yeah,
it's even more TMZ than TMZ.
Totally.
They out TMZ at TMZ.
Yeah, I would expect that of TMZ.
Yeah, but Us Weekly, come on, Us Weekly.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. We didn't go into that Love Fest expecting to get some sort of breaking news.
No.
Love Fest, we really do mean for Love Fest to be a celebration of love, as cheesy as that sounds. We're not asking gotcha questions.
This is not an interview. And also, when they said that, I didn't think of that as breaking news. I wasn't like, ooh, that's a big piece right there.
No,
That's
me neither.
clickbait.
I was just like,
that's normal. He lives in Indiana. She lives in Jersey. Like, of course, there's a possibility that they're not going to move in together immediately. They have families there. They have roots. She has a job there. She has a career.
I mean, I was surprised by that information mainly because they were at that point already married.
Right.
And you have this assumption that they have a house now.
It's not a normal marriage. That wasn't a normal marriage. We have to accept that. This was not a real marriage. This was a sham marriage, not a sham relationship.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a test of a relationship. It was a relationship that was like, let's see, where is this going to go? We really like each other. Maybe this could be something. The wedding was a sham and it was forced on them. They didn't decide it. You think this couple, if they met in real life, they would have been like, let's get married in 1 month.
I just think you have to watch your wording because that could be taken out of context, Andy. It could be taken out of context.
You think Us Weekly is like, Dear Shandy calls this a sham wedding. Like, wait, what about the credit for them living separately?
But what we're saying is the relationship was legit. I really do believe
the relationship was legit.
Yeah.
And it was, you know what it was? It was like putting something on the stove with too high a flame. Cook it slow.
Yes.
You can't burn
Gotta
it.
get it golden brown.
Yeah. Look, some things you want to sear. Some things you want it like a steak. You want it to hit the pan and be sear. Yeah. This is like a slow cook.
Okay.
It's a slow cook.
I do that too often. I have the flame too high.
You go too high in the flame.
Yeah.
You know what I always say? If you can hear the gas coming out, it's too high.
Okay. Why do you think it didn't work? Do you believe it was distance related as they claimed? And then the follow-up was, would it have come up pre-wedding? Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts on this. I think the main reason was distance, like 95%.
Yes, logistics.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think that when you reach a certain point in life, you have more roots in whatever place you're in. It's more than just Teresa's career, her still working. I think, that was sort of a blip. We'll get to that in a bit. But I think the fact that they have kids and grandkids where they're living, that's a lot to ask of a person. And it really highlights the difference between The Bachelor and Golden Bachelor. When you're 25, you simply do not have those commitments.
Freewheeling.
Yes.
Go by the seat of your pants.
Totally.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. They were in a bubble. And in that bubble, they were great together.
Yes.
If they could have just lived in that bubble of reality TV forever, they would have been fine.
Totally. I think if teleportation existed and it was not, and it was cost efficient or cost friendly.
Cost effective,
that way more relationships would work out. This is a huge reason why. In fact, when they shared this as being, I think, was this their hurdle?
Yes.
The fact that they don't live together.
This was their big hurdle, yeah.
It might have been her working. No.
The working became the not living together.
Okay.
It was sort of one and the same.
Yeah, I called this very relatable when we recorded the Love Fest because I do think this comes up a lot. We get this with our relationship questions when people write in for Q&As. People are like, oh, well, he lives there. Is it crazy to move? Or is it wrong that I'm growing resentful for having moved? That kind of stuff. It totally tracks with real life dating. And so therefore, I think this is 100% the main reason. And the question about why wasn't this discussed beforehand? I think it probably was in a like, oh yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there kind of way. Like we love each other.
How many times have you been on some exotic vacation? Maybe you even went with your family. This is like old school. Like you're a teenager and you met someone and you're just like, this is it. I'm spending the rest of my life with this person. This is amazing. This is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And you never think, you're like, well, we live in different places and this is a vacation. What am I talking about? This isn't going to work.
Yeah.
You don't think about that in the moment.
Certain personalities do think that way.
But I don't think they did. I think they were caught up with the moment. First of all, this is the first time anyone has ever done, this is the first Golden Bachelor ever.
Yes. And I think we can all agree.
Seniors have been on a dating show, as far as I know, on the TV.
Yes.
So
on the TV.
They were caught up in this huge moment. Let's be honest. This wasn't like someone's like, oh yeah, I know like 5 of my friends have been on The Bachelor and I just got cast. Like I'm going to do this thing. It wasn't routine. This was a huge moment for them. They were caught up in the moment. That diner date, I'll still say that diner date, best date in the history of the franchise.
You cried.
In my opinion. Yeah, I cried. I cried.
Yes.
You know how many times I've cried?
I have not
People
seen you
I've
cry
loved have died and I didn't cry.
Okay.
Not that much. That's I don't want
another quote taken out of context.
Watch out. No, that's not really 100% true. People I liked, died. I didn't cry.
Okay.
So it was an amazing date. It was a bubble. It was this moment in history. They were caught up in it. And I 100% believe there was a real strong romantic connection. And even they at 70 and 72, even they got swept up like kids. And they weren't thinking like, oh, I live in Indiana and I live in New Jersey and I really want to keep my career and there's a cultural difference here, blah, 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 blah. They weren't thinking about that, even at that age. But as soon as that bubble burst, they had to immediately be faced by it. I have grandkids. I have a career. He lives way across the country. I live here. This isn't going to work. And you know what? A person at that age is much better at saying no to that logistical nightmare than someone who's 26. Who's like, you know what? I'll move to Indiana.
Well, because they also have more. The fact that they have their kids and their grandkids means that they're less reliant, less like, oh, I need to find the one, my soulmate, my partner.
Right.
It's like they have other things to focus their love on.
And let's be honest, at that age, you don't want things to be really hard.
No.
You want it to be easy.
No.
You want to find someone who lives across the street.